Alright, again, this is my 258. I'm tearing it down for rebuild. On the prior episode, I pulled off the timing chain cover. I think in this episode, I'm going to take off the timing chain set and also the head, and we'll see what else I can get done with it. So, like I said, I already pulled out the timing chain cover on the previous episode. I'm going to go ahead and replace the seal on the timing chain cover as well. In the back here, so what comes off here, this is the crankshaft, is an oil slinger, I think it is. And so that comes right off there. You can't get it disoriented. I think it kind of goes and rides along that inner groove right there. Once this is together, provides a little additional seal for the outside. So that's that. Again, it's cut to the outside. So it's in that orientation. Put that there. And I think the timing chain set should slide right off there. I've already seen this one, the camshaft gear, that's sliding. And I've already loosened this bolter. I showed that in the prior video, I think it was. And then it's this one over here that I don't know. I don't want to smack it too hard, but just give it a couple taps to see if I can't. Again, yeah, I already showed that this is pretty loose here, so that's going to be replaced. Yeah, it's coming slowly. It's getting there. Just have to rock it back and forth a little bit. Yeah. There we go. Actually, before I make a big mess of this one, I just pull this off. There we go. Put that to the side, and then I can just... there we go. Yeah. Yeah, and there's a dot. There's a timing dot there. I don't know if we can see it. Better light. Yeah, there it is. That dot right at the top there. So that's the timing mark. There's a little bit of wear on here, but I think that should be pretty good. And then also, yeah, this does not have a mark, so it's pretty easy to not mess up the orientation. So that's the timing set. There's the crankshaft. Here's the cam here. And so I guess now it comes off the head. And I'm going to do the oil pan at some point. I don't want to, in fact I should probably, anyway I'll get the head off first and then I'll pull the oil pan. I don't want to flip the whole thing over. I'm going to do it the hard way and pull the oil pan off the bottom. There's probably some oil still at the bottom there and I don't want to create a big mess, so I'm just going to lower the oil pan. Maybe I'll do that at the end of this video just real quickly. So the head here should be pretty straightforward. I again mentioned before that I've cracked all the bolts. I have my handy dandy shoebox here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to replace all the bolts, but I'm going to go ahead and keep track of where everything goes. Those are the bolts for the bell housing. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of pull these out one by one and keep track where everything goes. So we're going to start, right here. That's probably the easiest way to do it. Just go one by one. we go. Yeah, I'm not quite sure why these and what the orientation is for that, but that's what it is. And I know this is loose. I'm gonna try to pull it off. I should have pulled all the rockers off, but that's okay. Should be able to lift this up. All right. And the gasket here. The gasket was perfectly fine. Yeah, it's seen better days, but it wasn't leaking at all. I'll give a little bit of a close-up. There's a lot of carbon buildup in there on the cylinder heads. Yep. So it's looking pretty nasty in there. When I first got it, the oil that I drained out was very thick and black, and ever since then, I replaced it a couple different times, and the oil always just comes out black. I think it's just been slowly pulling out. Down in there, that's the lifters. I'll go ahead and pull those out. And then the head here, again, this is pretty ugly too. Again, it was running reasonably well, but can I see this is the front here? Yep. That's where all the... See the valves? I'm going to go ahead and test out the valve seals. Maybe put a little gasoline and see if I get how much drippage I get off, but those are going to need to be cleaned or probably replaced. I'll probably replace those. But yeah, this whole head needs to be looked at. Again, there were no leaks for any of it, so that's good news, but so I don't know if I'm going to have to get the surface machined on either the head or the block. But we'll take a look at that a little closer after I get things cleaned up a little bit. Kind of see a lot of gunk here caked on. Yeah, that's pretty bad. And we're going to go ahead and pull the push rods out. I'm going to go ahead and keep track. I don't know if I'm going to keep them or not. I don't know, they might be okay if I try to clean them up, but so I'm going to go ahead and keep them in order on my shoebox here. All right, here we go. Keep those in order. Oh, actually, let's do it this way. So I go from the back end. There's all the push rods. All right, I guess I'll go with the lifters next. We'll just go ahead and rock and roll on this. Maybe I'll get lucky and they'll all come out relatively easily. Or not. They're spinning. I'm gonna go ahead and pull the oil pan. So like I said, that I'm gonna do it the hard way because I don't want to get oil everywhere. I'm sure that there's still some in it, and then I'll be able to flip it over and work on the bottom end. Yeah, I did it. And looky there. That would all come through the engine, so I'm glad I did it that way. Recommend. So now I can flip this thing over. Before I get too much in there, I wanted to show all the lifters. Get a close-up view of that. Also a cylinder head. You know, the lifters are in there. They're spinning and they're bobbing up and down a little bit. Actually, why don't I show that for a second? See if I can't. Here we go. Get a pretty good view of it, so I can get this in there. See, it's spinning, and I just can't get it out of there. Yeah, it's just not wanting to come out of there. The other one, I'm getting a little bit more bobble up and down, but yeah, I can't get it out of there. So yeah, we're gonna spin it over and pop those guys out. But yeah, I'm not seeing any scoring or anything like that on the cylinder wall, so that's good. Just out of curiosity. Yeah, I got a little lip there. I'm gonna clean that up a little bit. There's so much carbon buildup around there. I can't tell what's carbon and what's... I'll clean that all up and get a better view just to see if there's a ridge there or not. See if I'll have to get this thing bored out. So I'll pull off the oil pump. I'll probably replace the oil pump. It looks like it might be original. I'll probably keep the pickup. I'm not quite sure. Clean it up some. So that's all it for this episode. I'm going to pull in the next one the cam, the lifters, and the oil filter. Pull those off, and then I'll be moving on to the bottom end. So just a couple more before I finish with the total teardown. Like and subscribe if you want to follow along with the rest of the teardown, and also next comes a rebuild.